in that moment where I'm already weak, if I'm left to make a decision right then, more than likely it's going to be a poor decision. What's up, heroes? Today I want to share with you one of the greatest secrets to losing weight, and it comes down to controlling your diet. You probably already know that when it comes to losing weight, diet is about 80% of the equation. We put so much emphasis on working out and fitness, but if you don't have your diet tuned in, none of that matters, right? For years, I struggled with losing weight. I was vigilant about going to the gym. I would go to the gym 5-6 days a week, but I still wasn't seeing any results. And it all came down to my diet. I was so loose with what I ate. I didn't really have that dialed in. So it wasn't until I was able to really dial in and have a discipline about my diet that I started to see results. And so I want to share with you one of the tools and tricks that I started doing to help me dial in my diet, which allowed me to start getting all the results that I wanted from a look and feel perspective. My name is Jarvis. I am the morning hero. I help people get better results in their business and their personal life just by showing them some tips, tricks, and tools to better manage their time, effort, and energy throughout the day. And if that kind of stuff excites you, I would encourage you to go ahead and subscribe, because I put out videos 2 to 3 times a week, just helping people level up in every area of their life. So let's get back to it. How do you dial in your diet? I want to first describe this concept called predetermination. Predetermination is when you've already made up your mind in advance of something. I don't know if you've ever had this stubbornness to you. I know that whenever I make my mind up about something, it's really hard for someone to tell me otherwise or to sway me in a different direction. My wife hates this. One time I had planned that we were going to go to this park. I said, we're going to the park this afternoon. And it actually turned out it was going to rain that afternoon. And so my wife was like, oh, no, it's going to rain. Maybe we should do something else. But in my mind, I had already visualized us going to the park. I had already come up with all the fun stuff we're going to do. And so I just had this stubbornness, like, no, we are going to the park. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Turns out we get to the park and it starts raining and we're all wet and drenched. And my wife was like, I told you, you had to come to the park. You wouldn't listen to me. And that's just an example of when you make your mind up about something, like even when other new information comes in that tries to sway you differently, like you are like so focused and you've got these blinders on of doing the thing that you had determined that you wanted to do. And that's predetermination. When you make up your mind in advance, more than likely you commit to it and you have this conviction, and more than likely you follow through. Now, how do you use that concept of predetermination for your diet? Well, it's simply you make up your mind in advance of what you're going to eat all day long. And therefore, there's no decision that needs to be made in the moment. And where I used to fail is that I would wake up and say, okay, yeah, today I'm going to eat healthy. But then I go to work and I'm working, and now all of a sudden I need to rush and get something quick to eat. And now I'm really hungry at this point. And now I just need something fast and convenient that's going to fill me up. And more than likely, I'm going to make a poor decision in that moment. If I'm left to make a decision in that moment when I'm already hungry, in that moment where I'm already pressed for time, in that moment where I'm already weak, if I'm left to make a decision right then, more than likely it's going to be a poor decision. I'm going to run past like, oh, let me go to Chipotle real quick, or let me just stop and get something here real quick. And so the idea is like, how do you leave it so that you aren't making decisions in the moment? Your decisions are already made for you. And the way you do that is in the morning, you plan all of your meals for the day. It's called meal planning. It's a little different from meal prepping. Meal prepping is when you actually prepare all your meals, so all you have to do is grab and go. That's the ultimate level, is to have all your meals already prepped for you. And I have a video talking about meal prepping. But if you don't have the time to spend 2 hours every day or 2 hours on a weekend to cook all your meals for the entire week, or you don't like to eat the same thing over and over and over every single day, if you don't have time for meal prepping, then what you can do is meal planning. And what meal planning is every day you plan out and chart out what you're going to eat all day long for every single meal. And I mean down to the detail. And so then by the time you come to that meal, you've already determined in your mind what you're eating. The decision is already made. Now it's just a matter of following through. And so this is what I do. Every morning I have my Zero calendar. This is the planner that I use to plan and chart out my entire day. What's cool about the Zero calendar is that this actually has a place for your meals, for you to plan and map out your meals. And so when I get to that part of the zero calendar, I'll simply write what my goal is. I'm trying to get down to 195, sexy and fine. That's my goal, and I'm almost there. But I write the goal, and then I'll write what I'm going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for each meal. And so for breakfast, I'll actually write, oatmeal, banana, berries, and peanut butter toast, right? I'll write that in there. Then I'll say for lunch, what am I gonna have? I'm gonna have for lunch. Then it forces me to sit there and think through my day. Okay, for lunch, I know I'm going to be with clients or I'm going to be traveling in between appointments. Let's see, maybe I can stop at, where can I get something healthy? Well, I can get a salad bowl from Chipotle, which is pretty healthy. Okay, is there a Chipotle en route? Oh yeah, there's a Chipotle. Okay, so for lunch, I'm gonna have a chicken salad from Chipotle. And then for dinner, I'm gonna get home. Maybe on my way home, I'll swing by Trader Joe's and pick up a steak. They make these really great Santa Maria steak, tri-tip steaks. So maybe I'll swing by and pick up a steak and some broccoli. Okay, Trader Joe's steak and broccoli. It took me 2 minutes to just think through in advance. I thought through each part of my day and what I'm going to eat for each meal. And then I write it down. And now it's determined in my mind. I've predetermined what I'm eating. And now I don't get cravings for anything else. Like my mind now is stubborn that that's what it's going to eat today. And I find that when I do this, when I get very thoughtful of planning the exact detail of everything I'm eating all day long, I'm not left to making these random impromptu decisions throughout the day. And that's where my diet normally falls. My diet normally falls when I'm left making these impromptu decisions, these off the cuff decisions like, oh, I kind of feel hungry. Let me go grab, some M&Ms. Instead of trying to make these random decisions, I determine in advance everything I'm going to eat and I write it down in my zero calendar, and then that keeps me on track. More often than not, when I plan my meals like this, I stick to it all day. And when I start sticking to the healthy things I plan for, I start losing weight. It's funny how that works. You be more thoughtful and intentional about what you eat, all of a sudden you start losing weight. And so this has been working for me. I'm down 10 pounds, and it's all because I started mapping my meals out every single day before the day starts. I developed this zero calendar, and this is a tool that I use every day to help me map through my goals and my actions and schedule everything on my calendar. I have to be thoughtful about every area of my life, and it breaks it down into each section. So it breaks it down into wealth. What's your wealth goal? What are the big actions you have to take care of today for your wealth? What's your health goal and the big actions you have to take care of as far as your health? How are you going to eat healthy? How are you going to exercise? Your relationship goal, who do you need to reach out to? It walks through each of the main core areas of your life, and it forces you to be thoughtful about planning it out and then scheduling those things on your calendar. By the time I get done doing this every day, it takes about 15 minutes. I'm super focused and organized, and I just go off and execute like a champ. And so this is the zero calendar. There should be a link below where you can get a copy of a zero calendar for yourself. But this is how I double my productivity every day, is with this zero calendar. And this is also how I chart my meals out, and so that I'm down into my college weight now, all because of doing the meal mapping process in the zero calendar. So if you want a copy, go ahead and click. There should be a link where you can get a zero calendar for yourself. All right, everyone, I'll see you in the next video.